Welcome back to another A to Z. We're back in the building. It's been a while, but we're back ready to just bring it.
Yeah, let's
So
get
what's
it.
up, Ali? How
Yeah.
you been, man?
Hey man, there's been so many changes in this since we last spoke, man.
Yeah, it's been a little over a month. What's going on? What's new? Definitely a lot of changes in the world, changes in life.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's new?
okay.
Let's catch up.
So okay, real quick then. Thaddeus went down to Utah,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. He's down there. We got a chance to go see him. He's with his lady down there. He's doing mechanical engineering.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
loving it out there. He got his first taste of racism, and that was
Oh, in
beautiful.
Utah.
So yeah,
Yeah, how'd that go down?
oh man, it's cool. It's whatever. He took it on the chin, just nice, like he was
Okay.
supposed to, like he was
Um,
supposed to. So
Okay.
it,
I
it
mean,
was
you
good.
want to break down the scenario or what? What happened?
Nah, it's just the first time he get called nigger, and then having some other things, you know. Uh, he did get shoulder checked, but that that could have been from anything, because he was walking with three girls, two white girls and a Mexican. So they could have been checking him to see if he's gay. They could have been checking him because he was with two white girls. They could have been checking him because he's black. I mean, it could have been. It was a shoulder check, so it could have been for any reason. Just because
So
we're three dudes walk and you're one dude. You know what I mean? It could have been for anything. So I'm not going to count that one as racism.
okay, so he's
Yeah.
okay, so he's walking down the street, get shoulder checked, and dude drop the N bomb on him. Okay, all right.
Oh no
So
no
he
no
let.
no 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 no. Those were separate occasions.
Oh, okay, man. Okay, trying to
Separate.
imagine this scene going down. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they was going to some like club or whatever for the school, and he just gets shoulder checked. That's just what happens. But the N bomb was when he was walking with her, and they called him one from a
okay,
car. It was whatever. So that's
okay.
cool. So he's out there
Yeah.
doing that thing, and
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
separation anxiety from the wifey. It's all good. Uh,
Yeah.
he's
Well, that's
handling it.
cool, man. That's cool. I mean, we got the same. We got the dropout. Well, Jared's moving into temporary housing this week.
Okay.
He's been a basketball player. He's got to go about 2 weeks early, but official dorm room move in is like 2 weeks from now.
Oh wow.
Oregon school starting back late, much later than all the schools back east. So
Yeah, or even right now because they was already in school. Like
yeah,
he's been in school for like 2 weeks, I think.
yeah. I think their first week of classes is actually like September 19th or something. Yeah, so he's got
Wow.
a little ways to go. But yeah, man. Yeah, life is moving fast.
Yeah, we're old, man.
Speaking of old, man, I hit that 46
I
a few weeks
know.
ago. Yeah, so yeah, moving
Happy
up,
birthday
man.
again.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. It's definitely every year that goes by now is like, okay, let me just kind of look at life in retrospect and just kind of
Yeah.
see, what's new these days, how things are going, what the future might hold. Yeah, it's just different as you move up the ladder. You just tend to look back more. At least that's what I've been doing. I don't know if that's everybody's experience as they get older, but
Oh
just
man. Wait till you hit 50.
hey man, I'm about sick of people telling me to wait. You know what I mean? Wait till you hit this one. Like, no, 40 was good. Like, I don't need any more surprises.
Oh no,
I don't
no,
need
it
any more
happens.
aches or nothing. None of that. No more.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I was when I started personal training, I was in my 20s, right? So
Hmm.
everybody I trained then was like my age now, 45, 50 years old. And they would
Yeah.
always tell me, you wait till you hit 40. And 40 hit me hard. And I was over this lady's house last week. I think she's like, what is she, 96? And she's like, oh, you just wait till you get my age. Like, 96? That's a long
Well,
way off. I don't know.
hopefully
It's a
you
long
can
way.
make it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah,
These
man.
sometimes the body aches a little bit. These aches and pains, like, man, I gotta squeeze another 50 out of this.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's get it then.
Hopefully technology and science does what it's supposed to do and allows us to surpass these limits, on life. As far as
You mean as far as age? Okay.
Yeah, because aging might be a disease, man.
It
it
is,
has got
bro.
to be some kind of sickness. It's got to be some type of sickness. We're supposed to live forever.
I was listening to something about some scientists who said that the body is just designed to go on. There's no real reason why it should just die. And my wife and I are always talking like all these illnesses that you have to like be prepared for, like all these diseases. This is a natural state. It can't be, right? I mean, all this
No,
has
it
to be. Can't be, man. There's too many weird diseases and things you got to look out for. And I'm like, everybody around me's got a knee replacement, a hip replacement. Like, what is going on? It's crazy.
Right. I think every single time somebody comes up with we can save humanity, somebody's like, okay, let's kill that person. He can't be letting off.
Yeah, he's on to something. Because I just sit and think about it all the time. Like, okay, if it was a perfect environment, the air was good, the water was good, food was good. Like, how would the body really survive? How would it thrive? I think about that.
It's simple. I mean, if when you think about it, we have cells that die off, right? Our body continues to create new cells. That's what would happen. It would continue to create new cells and shed the old ones.
And we just keep regenerating, right? Just keep regenerating. But we have something in a way that's stopping that from happening.
Oh, guess what that is?
What's that?
That's those shots when we were first born, and all the stuff that they do. Let's take them off of let's cut the umbilical cord before the placenta stops pumping. Let's give them the shots and give them these eye drops, and we'll just say that it's clearing the eyes, just all kinds of crazy stuff is unnecessary. Like people can't have babies without all this extra stuff. We don't need that. Yeah, but they say we do.
And we look at it, I think we look at it the wrong way. Like, if they say we need it, but look at just what's happening to the average person. Like, people got, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancers, all these things are happening, but we're thinking that we're in this system that's helping us. Obviously, it's not. Obviously, health is deteriorating on a large scale. And it's just crazy. And I think we're gonna jump right into it, bro. I think it's we're on the verge of the transhumanist agenda, if we're just being honest, right? The transhumanism agenda. And the only way for that to really work is for them to create scenarios in which people feel like their body is deteriorating. They're not smart enough, not able to keep up enough. Otherwise, what would be the point? What would be the point in creating this type of agenda or this type of thing in the future? If people were, regenerating, like you said, if people's cognitive function was great like it was, and they're not forgetting stuff, or they didn't feel like they had to keep up with artificial computers and compute things at that type of pace, what would be the point of that whole thing? So you have to create a state where people are getting sick, feeling like they're slow, feel like they can't keep up in order to accept this agenda. So I think it's all just kind of leading down this road to that.
Of course. And you already know that they create, as soon as they create some new technology, they figure out how the technology can be used in the future. It's like, how can we use this to benefit us and control the future with this? And okay, well, if we do this, probably even with the cell phones, like the television. If you think about the television, they called it a boob tube. And they seen in the first 20 years, oh man, it just the television alone stopped people from doing, like being so active. it brought people inside the house,
Yeah.
So how can we make it even more, make people more lazy and control their minds all day long? Oh, let's put a cell phone. Let's put these games on the cell phone. Let's social media. Let's add this to it. Let's do this. Let's do this. And they did all that back in the 90s and just implemented it now. You know what I'm saying? Well, not now, but you know what I'm saying.
Over time, yeah, it's just kind of rolled out.
And they got us so that they made it so that they can't control in that part. And think about this. Are you on high blood pressure meds?
I am not.
Okay, I am. Now, that when a person starts taking high blood pressure medication, after a certain period of time, short time, not like 2 years, but like within months, 4 or 5 months, it's really hard to get a person off of the medication, because once they start taking the high blood pressure medication, their body stops producing that chemical, that chemical that it naturally produces to control high blood pressure. So
Yeah,
they go
sure.
ahead, and when they put us on high blood pressure medication, our body still is producing this chemical. But then once they give it to us, it stops producing. So the best thing that they could do is figure out how to make your body produce more of this chemical, right?
I mean, there's natural ways to decrease blood pressure, which we already know. Like exercise is one of them, because it increases the vasodilation and the body's ability to expand. Which you talk about pressure inside of a tube. If you can expand the tube a little bit, there's less pressure in there.
Right.
Nitric oxide. There's natural things that would do that. Red yeast rice. Nitric oxide. Exercise is big. Exercise is one of the biggest ones. Breath, learning how to breathe and control the sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system to get everything relaxed. But that is not the first resort in our in our medical repertoire.
No,
and
it's not.
And I think that's by design. And go ahead. You want to say something else?
Well, the thing that I was thinking about is they creating this stuff to replicate the medication. I mean, replicate that chemical that our body produces. How come they don't take the time? And we've been giving people, or the doctors have been giving people high blood pressure medication for such a long time. There has been enough time for them to say, if we do this, this will allow the body to produce more of this chemical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, even if they don't want to exercise, even if they don't want to eat healthy,
sure,
we can put this in their system. We can give them this shot. We can do this so their body can naturally produce more of this chemical, because it's blocking whatever stopped their body from doing it. They can fix that, but they just won't. So they're doing it for, obviously, money, to shorten people's lifespan.
mm-hmm.
All of that. Because they could fix it. They could
absolutely
fix it.
They could. And why are we shortening lifespans? Why are we doing all these things?
More
and a lot
control.
of it, more control, and disconnecting people from nature and their natural state in order to be able to better control them and manipulate them through all of these different things. And the end goal being, what the end goal for that being what? Total control over everything. But
right.
the biggest thing being, and the last component being with this transhumanist agenda, the last thing being the thoughts and the mind of the person. The physical body can be manipulated through a lot of different things, but once you get that person to commit over to, now you got the whole mind, that's it. It's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
And they attacked us also again with the spirituality part, because if you think about it, if we do stuff more naturally, we seem to be better off everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So even spiritually, they took and made astrology taboo, or astronomy, which one of the two, and they made it like, oh, you can't do that because if you
Astrology.
if you start looking at the stars and the zodiacs, you're practicing witchcraft, and it says that in the Bible. It's like, why? Everybody uses like the farmers use astrology and astronomy. The ships, the captains who navigators use the stars. So that's a natural thing. We can get natural spiritual information from the stars. They were doing it for a long time, but now we don't even know how to do it. A lot of people can't even pick out the Big Dipper, Orion's belt, the Bear, the Little Dipper. A lot of people can't pick that out now. We don't even know what part of the sky it is. When's the last time? Well, you live in a place where you can probably see the stars, but you're there, when's the last time that you looked at the Red Dipper, the North Star?
Yeah, I mean, I look at Little Dipper a lot. You can see it. I kind of look up, not as much as I used to when I first moved here, but I still glance up there and you could check it out. So it's all reverse engineered, right? So we used to look up, now we look down at our phones. Versus up. So everything's been reversed. And it's a reversal of the energy, right? Too. Like we used to be more on a path, I guess, of ascension, which is not quite accurate, but now we're more, I would say, descending. And when they tell us this thing like we're evolving, but it's not evolving, it's devolving. But it's being sold to us like we're progressing, but at the same time, the human species and all the other ones around us are declining while we're being sold that we're evolving. And it's just, I mean, it's just a lie, right? Really, if you think about it. But the truth is right there in front of our faces, if you could see it. So I'm gonna share this stream, man. We can talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it. Whatever we're getting ready to look at.
This I'm gonna just pull up, since we're on the topic of transhumanism. I just pull one up because we can really see it. Kind of what the agenda is. This is are you able to see this?
It's coming up, yeah. There's a lady on side. Okay.
Yeah.
Our bodies will,
The ways the world will change by 2030. This article was written in 2017, so it's quite old, but they're talking about this agenda to create this vision of having humans be augmented, one, with more technology. We also see increased use of implants, so ranging from brain microchips to neural lace to mind control prosthesis. The most powerful body augmentation will come from biological augmentation, CRISPR technology, gene editing, to supposedly eliminate diseases. And then it goes on about gamification. Supposedly that's going to increase human productivity. And these whole smart things, can you still see this?
Yeah, I can still see it. I just don't know what gamification is.
Like making a game out of everything, so where you get rewarded for doing different tasks. So can you see this here?
So what am I looking at?
Smart technology meaning?
No, I don't see that.
Hold on. Let me I'm gonna pull up another share screen. I should have hit share screen, whole screen, but it's all good. Entire screen. Yeah, here we go. This one here.
Okay, I can see that.
They keep telling us about all this smart technology, right? And I was reminded the other day of what that really means, because as the technology gets smarter, we see that we definitely aren't getting smart about the technology. But it's an acronym that stands for self-monitoring, analysis, and reporting technology. So all these smartphones, smart TVs, smart cities are basically things that self-monitor, analyze, and report.
Who is it reporting to?
You know who. The beast computer is what they call it. One system that monitors and controls everything under one system. And they've been talking to us about this one world government, one world control, one world thing, but basically it will be all fed up into one system that controls all the things. And we can see this slowly happening with the integration of all these cryptocurrencies and these new technologies, how they're starting to talk more and more to each other. Everything's being integrated, and you can see how if that just continues, it won't be very long before everything gets reported up into the same database, so to speak, or however they want to call it. Blockchain, blockchain. And a chain is a string of information that's held in a block and chained up, meaning you can't break the chain. It's all up into one system, so it's all being controlled and monitored down all the way down to the individual level, which is what they're talking about with this transhumanist agenda. How you will be hooked up to the technology, so to speak, and all of your stuff will be reported. They'll call it smart, but we just saw what smart means. And here we can see, both wearable, implantable organizations that include Elon Musk, Neuralink, Facebook, DARPA being a government agency that creates technology for governments and military.
Yeah.
So they talk about in the future, very near future, we're already there, really. I think that we're going to be in this technocracy where things are really controlled by technology. And here you go, right here, Elon Musk, Neuralink, and Facebook, and then DARPA. There's the government and commercial enterprises controlling everything right there. And I saw an article the other day where Trump's trying to buy, was it Intel, going to sell part of their company to the government?
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, there's been a lot of that. A lot of different companies selling their part of their business, 10% of their stuff to the government.
It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird, unless it has always been happening and we just don't know about it.
I think that it has always been happening. We just hadn't seen it be so revealed in the public like this. Because if you think about how all the companies pay all of their taxes and they go to one governmental entity, if you're paying taxes to that entity, then you can say that that entity has control over your company or has some authority in your company. You're already paying them. They're already implementing rules, but now it's just in the public where we're actively selling part of the company to the government, which just increases the amount of control. It's not like it's a new form of control. It's just increasing the amount of control by the government, in my opinion. And so we're just seeing it in a more open way. And I think so. Gamification, man, behavioral science techniques include queuing up next drive as a default option, giving drivers awards such as above and beyond to spur the dopamine release. Gamification techniques include graphical interface that brings a video game-like quality to drive, as well as promote goals for the company. So they're just bringing games, things like even like Minecraft or all the games really have this gamification thing in it. So they say it's going to make us more empathetic, but I don't know about that.
Nah, what it's doing is brainwashing.
Yeah.
And I
brainwashing and dependency.
And be more. I do believe the empathetic part, but it's not going to be empathetic towards people. It's going to be empathetic towards the system.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, most employees will have an AI counterpart. So if you're not using AI in the very near future, you're pretty much toast in the business industry. Conversation focused on societal values. Here he is right here. So transhumanism, how humans will think, behave, experience, and perform in the future. So yeah, man, we certainly watching in a very strange time right now.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to my daughter, and I just realized she was watching a show, and it was this guy talking about how to heat up pizza, babe. She was talking about people how to heat up pizza, and you know, when I was younger, the way we heated up pizza was in a skillet or the oven.
Yeah.
And I was telling Nalia, and even the guy said, "Oh yeah, the skillet is really good. It makes the pizza taste like it did but a little bit better than it did when you first started. But the crust is soggy and everything." And I was like, Nalia, I was around before the microwave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when the microwave first came out, we had all kinds of myths about it, which was probably true then. You don't, because it came out on the news. Don't put your face too close to the microwave because the wave, you'll get that kind of the microwave or some kind of, I forgot, radiation.
Mhm.
Will get in you if you're too close. It'll mess up your eyes because everybody was getting close to it, looking at it, watching the food cook. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't know how to, babe.
Hey, she's just trying to get her 15 minutes of shine. Everybody needs their 15 minutes of fame. I get it.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, just that. It's like how fast technology is going. How fast it is. So even just by the man, I think in 10 years it's going to be something that we can't even imagine. Like we're seeing a lot of the AI right now, but it's going to be at a level to where we can't even imagine when we were younger that it looked like what it's going to look like. You know,
Yeah.
I think beyond the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right, man. The food is being bioengineered. I keep seeing stuff about that every day or so. I saw one the other. Was that you who sent me the salmon? That was you who sent me the salmon, right?
The
Where they were
salmon.
making the salmon in the lab. They were
Oh, I
growing
didn't know
this.
if that was salmon food.
No, I'm sorry.
It
It
was,
was beef. It was beef.
yeah, it was 3D printed beef. Yeah.
3D beef, but it was my wife who sent me one about salmon doing the same thing. They're gonna start rolling out the salmon in the stores now, where it's same thing, basically created. They called it. They basically saying it's coming from cells that they created in the lab. Somehow they created these cells. Yeah, so 3D engineered food. The water. I'm watching this show on Apple TV called Extrapolations. The first
Extrapolations.
Extrapolations. I'm only one episode in, but the first episode is titled 2037. So supposedly it's staged 12 years from now.
Uh-huh.
And they're talking about how the effects of global warming. So the scenes are set where everything's burning, people are inside because the air quality is so bad. And they're talking about how they're getting the government to not raise the temperature so much, because if they raise the temperature 1 degree, then it causes this amount of catastrophe and all kind of stuff. Or if they don't let the temperature go up, then humanity will be safe. So they're debating on how to control the temperature to decrease climate change and all that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting show. I think how they want to plan to control even the temperature, because that has a major effect on life here.
Life.
So yeah, and oxygen. So of course, one of the biggest resources, where can we get clean water to our cities? The countries are fighting, talking about how can we get water. We need water, and they're not going to release the water because they have to prove that these people are basically worthy if they really need the water. So to even start allowancing things like water, and it's so crazy because nature itself, if we were on a natural thing, like everything is abundant. Air is abundant. I mean, you plant
Supposedly.
one, you huh?
Supposedly.
I mean, if you like, I got 2 tomato plants in my yard, and there's more tomatoes than me and my family could eat. Period. Like, and they're not even. It's just 2 tomato plants, apple tree. Like if you get an apple tree going, like you can't eat all
You
those
can feed a
apples from one
community.
tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could feed a community. So nature is naturally abundant. I mean, air's everywhere, water's everywhere. I mean, look at the oceans. What the planet's 70-some% water, but we don't have enough water. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, right.
like it's oceans out here with water. We know we can desalinate, and that was another thing. Like the dude was like, some tech dude looking like Elon, I guess, was like, I'm gonna give my patents on how to desalinate water. I'm gonna let everybody use my patents on desalination so we can give more water to people. Like, dude, we've been desalinating water for a long time.
Right.
So, but as they always say, the truth is hidden in plain sight. You got the humans running around thinking there's no water, but you got all these oceans here with water.
Yeah.
We
They're playing on our stupidity.
Yes.
Our naivety. There you go.
Naivety.
So
I mean, nature's clearly abundant, but most people who live in cities, like if you grew up in a city all your life and you never saw an apple tree, because there's a lot of people who never see a natural apple tree or tomato plant. It's more than you could eat, like off of one tree. But we've been educated that everything is scarce, and it's just not true. It's it's just the way that we've been miseducated on what's really happening here. And that's the only way you can, keep people in this state is by the miseducation.
Remember Spaceballs? Remember that?
I remember that movie. Yeah, break it down. It's been a while.
Well, no, it's just like how they was like Spaceballs and Running Man, or not Running Man. What's that? I think it was Running Man, but with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he had to go to sleep, and he went into the dream world, and they needed air in their city, and that's the same thing with Spaceballs. They had cans of air.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then when you look at the Matrix, because you talked about what you seen 2037, right?
Yeah.
For that show you was talking about, the Matrix, nobody lived on the surface.
No, they did not.
And when they showed the surface, they didn't show green. They showed it was desolate and dark and red. The only movie that I've seen that I can remember where they showed green in the world after everybody was dead or whatever was After Earth with Will Smith. But when it grew back fierce. Like,
Okay.
Animals, the regular animals got bigger, the trees got bigger, and it was because they had no interference with humans.
Yeah, definitely something to think about how they show us all these movies where Earth is desolate. And if you think about like here's an example. People were talking to me all the time about like Trump, how he's gonna bring in mining and bring in more this, and we're gonna get more natural resources. Like if we keep on this path, and if we keep on this path, Earth is gonna be finished. And I get how they sell it to us as we need to survive and we need to keep these resources going. But these industries, and they show this in 2037, are the ones he said. The dude basically said, I know you think technology and corporations are the cause of global warming. Well, we were, but we're also the solution. So, like, yeah, we destroyed the planet, but yeah, we can also fix it. Like, really, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and they sell us this under the guise of capitalism, and we got to keep the country going, and we got to keep the economy going, and we got to compete. But competition in and of itself is a form of control, because why would you compete when nature provides everything abundantly?
Right. Greed.
Yes.
It's greed. I do think that we're lost as humans, as the sheep or whatever sheeple. I don't care what you call us, but we're lost because we don't believe, for the most part, that we can solve these things. We believe that
As
only the
individuals?
government, we believe that the government has to solve them.
Correct.
And that's not the truth.
True.
I like, if people start doing what you just said, you got two plants. You got two plants. That's it. And there's enough tomatoes for you to feed you in a couple houses, right?
Yeah.
You can't eat all of those. And you can grow like 5 different plants. You know, I mean, not tomato plants, but 5 different crops
Yeah.
in your yard and not take up much space. We could do that out here. If everybody in the neighborhood grew their own food, that would put the food corporation out of business. Of course, they would make a law that say you can't grow
You
your
can't be
own
trading
food.
those vegetables.
Yeah, you can't trade the vegetables, not even with your neighbor, because you might have salmonella and you get the community sick. You know what I mean? Because that's what that's what the USDA food safety worker is there for, right?
To prevent us from growing crops or what?
No, well, it's supposedly to I don't know where that came in, but because I didn't quote anything.
It looks good.
Okay, cool. It's supposedly there to stop the spread of diseases from through crops and foods going from one community to the next community. Now, if you have like a bunch of chickens, you can sell them only in your community. But if you want to sell them outside your community, you have to get a USDA stamp so that the USDA can be, or the United States government can say that, okay, this is good chicken. So you can buy it and feel comfortable and safe. Makes sense. It does make sense. But when you know the science of, we'll just say chicken, people don't eat raw chicken, right?
No.
There's nothing inside of a chicken, if it's cooked, that can kill anybody, that can make you sick if you cook it correctly. You know, if you cook it till it's done, you can eat them. You can eat a cadaver. That's a chicken that was already dead before you processed it. If you cook it, it might not taste good, but you can still eat it without getting sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of lies that they use, like salmonella on lettuce. You can just wipe it off. All you gotta do is wash your food. Hey, have you? And this is one of the things. Oh my God, I don't know what's wrong with TikTok. Or have you seen these new food processors? So they say, oh, you don't even have to wash your food anymore. You can it's a juicer. You just put the whole watermelon rind in there, and which is okay. It's okay. You know, put the rind in there and it'll separate the fiber from the juice. You need the fiber, but but you separating that and you can drink the juice, right? But you don't have to wash it. So if you don't wash it and you put it in there, where's the dirt going to go? It's going to
be in the juice.
It's going to be in the juice as well. These guys, I've seen.
Isn't that common sense? Like, what
people? I know. I've seen these people. They have apples. They throwing the apples in. You know, apples got the little stickers.
Yeah. They just put this sticker and everything. Okay.
Fine. You don't have to wash it or nothing. Like, yes, you have to wash your fruit. So they're making people stupid. I mean, like, for anybody who believes it, there's going to be some people who believe it because people are being lazier and lazier. And then that's going to be the common thing. Well, dude, you're supposed to take the sticker off. Hey, guess what? You just drank that juice. You said it was good. It had the sticker on it. You know what I mean? Oh, well, shit, I guess it was tasty. I didn't get sick, so I'm going to go ahead and do it without the sticker once or twice just to see. I mean, with the sticker. You know, I mean, like, if they start juicing that way, like, you know, they're even advertising dumb stuff. You know?
Hey, it's so wild, man. I think I mean, you kind of hitting on something though, like the conveniences that we've traded off. Um, like the manual labor of doing everything is what the government stepped in, or I don't know if it's government technology. I think they all work the same. I mean, I'm sorry, corporations. They're all kind of one and the same, in my opinion. But they bring up these conveniences that we see as conveniences at first, but we don't realize what we really give up in the long term until it's like, oh, it's too late. And if you think about like even like agriculture, which is what we're talking about, the farmers got to a point where, hey, it's just easier to sell my land and give it to the corporations and let them do it because it's so hard to make a profit in this business with the pesticides and the regulations and the taxing and all the things that come in, that makes it so inconvenient to be able to do that and make a living that is easier just to sell. And then once the corporations got it, now this is when they really got the nail in the coffin, because now they can produce on mass scale, add the pesticides, whatever it may be, that's just making it even more detrimental for all of us.
And this is one of the things we was talking about. And it's not just this. It's not just this, but this is part of the fact. But before they do anything wrong to us, they have to tell us the truth, right? And it's up to us to separate ourselves from their truth or their wrongdoing and go the other direction. And I'm just going to bring up McDonald's. Almost everybody, and I'm pretty sure you know about McDonald's, they done showed all the bad stuff. Hey, this food does not die. You can keep this French fry in your couch for 2, 7, 8 years, and it'll still look like a French fry. It won't have mold on it. It won't be green. And then they even tell you, tell me if you heard this, because I don't know if you have, but I'm pretty sure you have, that the meticulous way that they do McDonald's French fries, how they have the potatoes have to be grown to a certain length. They can't have any black marks on them, but also when they're harvested, they cannot be touched by hands because of the chemicals that are on there. It would make a person sick just by touching them. And we still go eat them motherfuckers because they so tasty. You know what I mean? But we know that it's poison. We know that it's poison. And we go do it anyway.
I mean, you speak into something that is a form of control that's so subtle that you don't even see it, because it's mind control even through the food. Because once you get the taste of those chemicals, which they're engineered to taste just perfectly sweet, perfectly salty, the right freaking crunch, that it satisfies all the different things biochemically that go underneath your conscious, like you're not even consciously aware of how satisfying it is on a biochemical level, that your body craves it. Right. And your body is a mind in and of itself, because how do we know the body's a mind? Because your stomach talks to your brain and say, hey, give me that. And it can go through almost a withdrawal state, just like a crack addict would, even with the food. So it's being engineered in a way like that. And it's so sneaky, so powerful, that consciously, oh, this shit is bad for me. But unconsciously, your body is craving it. So you do it anyway. And we all have been victims of that on so many different levels. And I mean, and in a way, it's so sinister. Do you blame the drug addict for being a crack addict, or do you blame the drug dealer? I don't know. Like, which one of these things? Because
you're supposed to blame the drug creator.
Bingo.
Yeah.
The creator. And that's what we got going on. These things have been created for the simple fact of control, but we've been sold to us that as food, but when it's really chemicals that are designed to cause a specific effect called addiction, that you continuous coming back. And addiction, we know, isn't anything conscious. Like it's your, sometimes you have psychological and physiological dependencies, but we're talking about a physiological dependency where your body is craving that.
Hey, remember MSG? They changed. When I was younger, they told us what MSG did. Do you remember what MSG did? It had that chemical that made you think that the food tastes good. It changed the way you think. Not the way you taste. It changed the way you think. So they was like, oh yeah, they put MSG on their food, and it tastes like crap without it. But once you put that on it, you're like, oh, it is pretty good. And you can, and do you know how instant that has got to be to taste something that tastes like crap, but you sprinkle this stuff on it and it tastes good? Your body, I mean, like you know, oh, you can spit that out if it tastes bad. Yeah. But if it tastes bad and you sprinkle this on it, as soon as you put it in your mouth, it tastes good. That right there is emotional. It's emotional. Yes. And then it's physical. So they're hitting you with an emotional thing and a physical thing with one tool.
One tool. You know? That's just one tool.
Yeah.
That's just one of the tools at the disposal. Yeah. And it's so powerful that because everyone, I mean, the mind controls everything. And they know this, right? So that's why, you know, when they were going, you know, around conquering, the first thing that you would do to disrupt the culture was hit their spiritual system first.
Yeah.
Because once you get the spirit, which we're talking about, you know, you say something like, we say things like, oh, I was in good spirits, meaning you're in a good mood or a good mind state. So if you can affect the mood and the mind state or the spirit of a person, you got them.
Hey, yep, that's what the Romans did. Buck breaking. They gave that term. They gave that term to, you know, breaking the slaves or whatever. When the Romans went in and they captured that town, they would have sex with those with the dudes of the town. If the dudes wanted to live, you know, okay, you're not going to fight against us. Okay, here, take this, or however. And then now, since you did that, you done proved to us that you're good to go. What is this?
No, I'll listen to you. I'm just pulling up because we're talking about a little bit about spirit right now.
Let's roll.
And let's roll with this. Yeah, how spirit is controlling everything. But this is just a little article, man, that even the Israeli government officials are starting to use supernatural spirits to gain an upper hand on the war. And if you figure, you know, if they're using this to gain upper hands in war, I mean, it is very challenging for the average citizen to be able to, or average person to be able to detect when they're at spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know why?
Go for it.
Because people don't want to believe in God. And no,
you're right. You're right.
Think about it. People don't want to believe in God, and the ones who do believe in God don't believe that they can be attacked by somebody else using witchcraft, or they will call it witchcraft. Like, how are you gonna have a spiritual war with me and use supernatural stuff when it doesn't even exist? So people there's going to be people who don't believe these claims that Iran is talking about their own about Israel. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people who love Israel, even though, and that's the weird part. They're practicing genocide. They're practicing genocide. Everybody can see it in plain sight that it's genocide, but nobody wants to believe it. Or if they do believe it, they get a pass for some reason, because America's still supporting them with billions of dollars a year.
For sure.
Even though Trump, I'm not so much a Trump lover, but even though Trump said that it's a genocide, it came out of his mouth, but he's still supporting them. They do have some kind of power, and it could be supernatural. I don't know.
Well, it's just like you said, man. They have to tell us the truth. He's Trump, like the leader of America. He's saying the truth, but he still has followers supporting it, which is the craziest thing I ever seen, dude. It's the craziest thing I ever seen. Like, how? But you know, let's look at this, bro. Yeah. So they've been saying that the Israeli troops they claiming that they are using occult powers to use these so-called jinn, and they've been dropping off flyers. The government has been dropping off these flyers with sheets of paper with calling it strange phenomenon. But basically, they're using supernatural forces, and we know even through certain studies and things that have been done in America that we can do things like remote viewing, and all this type of stuff. That's not new knowledge, but it's just showing that they're using this type of espionage, occult science, and the jinn entities for espionage to get the upper hand on the enemy. And jinn has been talked about in. Let me see. Let me pull up this one.
I wonder what the
Right here, what a
think
jinn
about
is.
this,
Right here.
too.
Can you see this?
Yeah, I seen that.
So jinn are supernatural beings created by Allah from a smokeless flame of fire, distinct from angels and humans. But basically, they're like spirits, and they're using these invisible forces to get an upper hand in the war.
Yeah, and supposedly the jinn can work on. They have the choice of being good or bad, and they but they're lesser than humans. But they have the ability to affect things on this realm. So
yeah.
But that's a spiritual thing. If you want to believe it, you can believe it. If you don't, you don't. But these people obviously believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this that's because this, we'll stop sharing. What is it? The things that we can't see are more powerful than the things that we can see if we're really being honest about it, right? If you really just think about it, you can only survive a few seconds without oxygen. And how powerful is that? It only takes a few seconds of being exposed to carbon monoxide and you're dead. And these gases are also can be seen as spirits of things. And spirit technology is not so spooky if you think of it just as simple as if I light this sage, this is a physical thing. If I light this, it's going to burn and turn into smoke.
Right.
And sooner or later, just a few seconds, you're not going to be able to see the smoke anymore. But where does it go? And if you bring a certain type of viewing lens, microscope, electron microscope, you can bring that smoke back into visual spectrum again.
Right.
But your naked eye can't see it, which shows that this is not just, this can be converted to spirit very easily. Even the science of liquor, how you make distill spirits. You can distill potato into a spirit or just the essence of it. So spirit is just the essence of something. And it's very simple to understand that these things are very powerful. And they are able to use and harness the power of these things that can't be seen with the naked eye. Because I think we can only see 0.5% of the visible spectrum. So many things are out of our view. But that doesn't mean it's not there, because this air is filled with a lot of things that we can't see, but it's in there.
Right.
And it has a power over you. And if you can harness that power, you really got someone, you can control someone with something they can't see.
And if people don't have the knowledge or education or the ability to critically think things that they do see or do hear, you got control over them 100% that way as well.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. And we think like even sounds. They said these jinn that the Israeli government is using can influence people through whispers.
Right, like angels.
Right. Yeah, like angels and sounds. And if you think about, if I hit my drum, eventually that goes to a level of sound that's so imperceptible by human ears that I can't hear it, but a dog can.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even if you can't hear it, it doesn't mean that the vibration, that sound is still in the air. You just can't hear it, but it has an effect on you.
And it also says in the article that they have the ability to listen in. Correct. on conversations, eavesdrop. I think that's what it's. Yeah, I think that's what it
did
said.
say eavesdrop.
Yeah,
and that's what they use it for in the form of espionage. You're right. So to eavesdrop, we can pull it back up real quick. If you want to go a little deeper, I guess we didn't really dive too deep in it.
Yeah, the reason I think the reason why is because it's really hard to sit there and make that a real thing, even though it says it. It says it and it's believable, but then it goes to the form of something that is taboo, witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's witchcraft because, well, for some people it will be considered witchcraft, using a demon or using something that is not. I'm not going to say not of God, but they believe that this jinn is, well, one of the jinn is actually Satan. You know,
Okay.
like,
I got what you're saying. Let's pull that
yeah,
back
like
up
how it translates to Satan. I think that's closer to the bottom
right here, where the most
of the
prominent
article.
gene. Yeah.
Yeah. So people don't, like, some people might not want to believe in that. Some people don't believe in Satan. Some people don't believe in God. So all this would be just, okay, yeah, whatever. But even though you made sense in proving, hey, you know, you can, even though I burn this incense, the smoke is still in the air. You can smell it. You just can't see it.
Right.
You know,
And another name for Satan in the Christian Bible is that
the light bearer.
What's that?
The light bearer.
Yeah, light bearer, which we know light is also information and knowledge. Also, he's called the prince of the power of the air.
Yeah.
The prince of the power of the air. So that means if he's just the prince of the power, that he has some power, or satanic energy has some power over the air. So things that are transmitted within our, ear, that are transmitted beyond our visual, and hearing perspective, but it's still there. And I think we have to point out too, man, like this Satan and God thing, we really have to like define what that is. What is Satan? You know what I mean?
Oh, what is Satan and what is God?
Yeah, because it's I mean, because we give it a lot of personification where we call it like a him or a thing, but it's beyond that, in a sense where it's more of an in my opinion, this is my opinion, I believe it's more of an energetic thing. And when you look at the word devil, which is another name for Satan, division or dividing or splitting things apart or separating something from the truth is what it is. So it's a divisive type of energy that separates things and divides.
I agree with that.
So I'm just trying to put it in a way where it's not so spooky, like there's this dude with a pitchfork, but it's more like an energetic thing that seeks to divide and destroy.
I think it's an idea.
Yeah,
I think
more of
I think it could be considered as an idea. Anything that I think of is godly. Anything that anybody else think of that's against me is satanic, because it's trying to destroy my thoughts. You know, exactly. So I mean that's a way to do it. Now, mind you, I believe in God. I believe in Satan. I believe in all kinds of stuff, man.
Well, they say also. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. They say also.
I was gonna say they say also that if you reach God consciousness or the creative thing that created all of this, everything would be together or united or one energy where there's no division. So the opposite of that would be a satanic energy or a divisive energy that seeks to divide everything. So the polar opposites is one thing, one energy brings everything together and the other energy divides everything. And that dance between the two is what creates the reality that we live in, because things are constantly being generated from the state of wholeness and being broken up to a state of division and then built back up again. And this is how you get infinity, through this process of division and bringing things back together. And it's also how you define what you would call Christ, or I'm not Christ, but the supreme, the all God versus Satan, the devil division.
Yeah, and then I think also, if we're defining that, we have to also believe or not believe, but understand what perfection is. Because a lot, again, we spoke about this before, but a lot of people think that perfection is something that I don't believe it is. Because God, the way we see God is perfect. But if we do what God does, we're committing sins. Like, because God has murdered whole peoples, for not believing in God. Is a jealous God. God has played games with people and said, hey, Satan, go ahead and you want to test my boy. I'm talking about Job. Yeah, you can test him. You can even bring harm and pain to him. Just don't kill just don't kill him, but you can kill everything around him if you want to. And that's perfect. His thinking, God's thinking, is perfect. So if we thought that way, that would be a sinful thought. That would be an evil thought. Go ahead and kill everybody at the house. Just don't touch that boy. You know what I mean? Like that would be sinful, because you're supposed to save everybody, especially if you're the supreme being, right? And to say, oh, you're going to kill some people because they don't like you, they like somebody else.
You know what? Let me hold on. Let me grab something real quick.
Okay, go ahead. You grab that.
I went to grab this. I went to grab this metaphysical dictionary.
Okay.
I'm gonna show it here on the screen. So it's a metaphysical Bible dictionary. So it breaks down a lot of things that are in the scripture, and it gives the metaphysical meaning behind it. So I'm gonna break up this one called sin.
Okay. Ooh, that's a nice one.
We pull up sin.
Because sin has to touch on some sort of perfection.
I thought it was quite interesting when I read it, right? So sin, it says sin, the metaphysics, evidently very material, combative, destructive states of thought. So it's saying that sin is a destructive state of thought. So falling short of the divine law, the divine law is the law of God, the law of being. It is the underlying principle of every man's being and of the universe. Sin is a departure from the law of being, the law of our being. So what are we, if we're being something and we depart from that, that means we're divided from that which we're being. Does that make sense? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Are you saying divided from our BE? What?
So I'm going to read a little bit first.
With a G or
our
B-E-E-N?
being, our being.
Okay.
So if we're being divided from our being, what we really are.
Okay.
Our being. So then it says the eternal sin, or the unpardonable sin is a belief that God is a creator of disease or inharmony of any nature. This belief is called an eternal sin because that which is eternal is abiding. So as long as man abides in the conviction that God causes him to suffer, he closes his mind against the inflow of God's gift of health, peace, and harmony. Okay, so the only unpardonable sin is to believe that division and all this stuff was created by the creator. So it puts sin in a different way. It puts sin in a different light from just doing something bad. And it also is saying that when we separate from our being, then that's also a sin. So it has nothing to do with murder, all those types of things. It's not moral. So if we look at what we are as beings, we are a microcosm of the all. We kind of talked about that a little bit ago. If God or the creator or universal energy is all and it created everything great and perfect, then the opposite of that would be Satan, device, division, all those types of things.
Right. So God created all of that.
No.
Yes. It says it in Isaiah 4 45:7. It says,
So,
I formed the light and created darkness. I
so
make
this is
peace and I create evil.
so this is where we have to depart from. It just said that God didn't create that. But something else
says it did.
did. Something else did. And we talked about this before. So if we talk about God, the highest thing, the most pure form of creation, and then something else came in and created that. And I think the Bible talks about the demiurge. There's a lesser God. We've talked about this before, the lower
Yeah,
gods,
we spoke about that many times.
the lower God. So not the creative of the universe or at all, but there's something else that's been put in place that created the division.
Okay.
So when we talk,
when it says I formed the light, which what God did, the higher God,
not the creator.
The creator didn't say let there be light.
No, a lesser creator.
A lesser creator created light.
A lesser creator created the division. Isn't that what it's saying?
No.
Listen, bro. I'm gonna read it one more time.
Okay, you can read it, but I'm if you read that, look up Isaiah 4:7.
I like this, Ali. We got a little something going back. We're gonna sort this God thing out, man. So sin again.
Not today. I only got 10 more minutes.
all right, we got 10 minutes. Okay. So it says sin. It's a departure from the law of our being.
Okay. It's the departure from our law.
Our being.
Right.
Yeah. And the underlying principle of every man's being and of the universe. Sin is a departure from the law of our being. The command of God to man, the man is be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds. The creatures of land and sea represent states of mind, and they are all contained in the consciousness of every man. Any failure on our part to exercise this dominion is falling short or a sin. It's a state of mind or consciousness. If we fall short on that, that's when we sin, not when we do anything else. So it's just simply forgetting what we are.
Okay. I do understand that. I think I understand it. I believe I understand it. So if we don't acknowledge who we are, right?
That's the only sin.
Then that's the sin. However, what you're talking about, what this is talking about is what was created. The main God, the power of all powers created the light. And it says that he formed the light in this one. I formed the light and created darkness. I make peace and I create evil.
Where are you reading from?
Isaiah 45 verse 7.
Now, do you remember we were talking about the demiurge?
Hmm?
In the two creation stories?
Say that again.
The demiurge and the two creation stories. Like there was one creator, the supreme creation, but what we're living in is a simulation that's been created to take us off of what I just said, which is what we really are.
Okay. So, but what we really are doesn't conflict with what I just read. It doesn't.
True.
If
it does
God
not.
is because God is the creator of all things. I think that's where we get confused, because if God is the creator of all things, if we believe that God created everything, then God created sadness. He created all those emotions. He created everything. I mean, like that's like how can you take anything that we see as not being a creation of God? If what he says is all true, all powerful, all knowing, he's the beginning and the end. He was there at the beginning of creation, and he's omnipotent, so he can, omnipresent. So he was at the beginning. He's seen everything that he created all the way to the end. That means he created all things. That means he created Satan. He already knew what Satan was going to do. So he created everything that Satan had the ability to do. Right? It's almost like predestiny, right? He created everything. We don't have if you watch the Cosby Show right now, or watch a remake of not a remake, but watch the Cosby Show right now, it's the same exact thing that the creator in the beginning seen. We can't change that. So the only thing we can do is figure out how we're going to feel when we watch it. Our emotions can change, but Theo is still going to do what Theo do in that same exact show. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's nothing that could change, but our emotions can change when we watch it. We're watching the same story that God has already created because He's seen it. That's if you believe it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think like to get to the truth of it, you have to go beyond. I think we got to start going beyond those scriptures. I mean, right. I think they have an element of truth, but they're also been there to be a stumbling block and create the division that we're talking about. So to get out of the division, you have to go above the created books and religions that keep us in this state and define what is a being beyond that. A being beyond those books is over those books.
Okay.
So the creator itself would be above and over those books, predates that. So what is, when you define a human from that way, then you'll see that we go, like our true being is beyond that. So anything that happens beyond that is being created by something that is not the source of it all. It's been created by something else.
Right.
Because
you said being a human, though. You didn't say being a God.
Our true being, not a human being, our true being.
Okay,
our true being is our true being is not our true being is not a human being. A human being is just a human being, but our true being is that beyond a human being.
Okay. So you're saying, you're saying what's in the Bible is
part of the control mechanism.
Of course, I agree that 100%. We just lost two people at the same time.
That's all good.
Yeah, but what you're saying is, when it comes to the Bible part of it, that those things are made by a lesser form, and there's hardly, you ain't saying this part, but I'm asking this part.
Sure.
So there's hardly any truth in this lesser form. And so if that's not hardly any truth, so if this book is in the lesser form, how do we think above and beyond something that we don't have any idea of other than using these different books? We have to believe that God is all powerful, all knowing. We have to believe that the creator of all, supposedly, do you believe the creator of all created all?
So it's like this. The prince of the power of the air has a lot of power over the air.
Right.
But it's just the prince.
Mm-hmm.
It has some attributes and all that. But in order to get to the truth, where it says, it's like this. So imagine truth. There cannot be a lie in the truth. If it's 100% truth, there cannot be a lie in the truth, because it's just truth. This is why they say God does not lie. But who does lie? Satan, the father of lies. So there is the separation there, that, okay, the true creator, there's no lying in it. So once you go beyond the prince of the power of the air, you find the full truth. And the only way to know that full truth is to tap into your true being. And to get into your true being is not found out here in anything else. It's an intuition that you're already connected to the database that has the truth, which is beyond this truth. It's beyond that. And that's where the real truth is, because here we know everything has an element of truth, but it's not the real truth, because it's been created by something that is a little bit of the truth. And this truth is only separated by frequencies. The only way you can get to the real truth is to tap into the real truth, not through ego, but just tapping into it and kind of experiencing or feeling the real truth through your own intuition. But you can't get to the truth through reading the books. You can get some elements of truth. That's why there's so many divisions amongst the religions about this and that and all that. But the full truth is irrefutable, because there's laws. And there's laws to the real being that go beyond what can be done in this realm. So to get to the truth of what the real creator is beyond this realm. That's why no one can really talk about it. That's why no one can really talk about God or the creative in any real detail for you to put your hand on it and be like, okay, that's it, because it's beyond just the regular knowledge, and it sounds like foolishness to everyone else.
Right.
Which is probably why we lost 2 people.
Yeah. I believe it, but they didn't want to talk. They didn't want to open up. Because I don't know if you looked over here in the chat comment.
No, I saw you asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not trying to pop in. Yeah, man, I just think it's like how can I say this? I heard a representation. I'm still kind of playing with it in my mind, that we live in a 3D reality, right? Linked space, time, width, whatever. And that's the 3 dimensions. The 4th dimension being time. The 4th dimension being time. And then the 5th dimension being the past, 6th dimension being the future. And all that's contained right here in this thing. Because we know we have length, width, height, all right here. Time also governs this reality. And in the spirit digital realm, or whatever you want to call it, where those jinn live at, they also are there, which have access to this realm through time. And also in the 5th and 6th, they also have access to the past and the future.
Right.
Which is all right here. But beyond that, in the 7th heaven, which I think the Bible talks about, or the 7th chakra, when we reach that crown consciousness, when we reach the 7th, that's beyond here. So I think that control mechanism is just 6 and below, or where we are here, but there's some truth beyond that. And beyond that is what we could tap into, because we're connected to it, but we have to go beyond the illusion of time, space, division, etc.
We have forgot the focus of our seed, or us being the seed. What I'm meaning is, I'm looking at it as a sperm. The sperm is fighting its whole life, which is short. You know, once it, I don't know about in the balls, but once it shoots into, the vagina and it's on its race, the goal is to make it to the egg so it can be enlightened. You know what I mean? So it can continue. I think a lot of us stop. We stop trying to go up the different levels. Just like some sperm just sit there and they just float around in the area and they say, "Hey, fuck it, I'm just gonna chill over here because this is nice over here." You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go. And it's only a few of us, obviously, out of the millions that get in there, that actually make it to the top, that make it to the next level, to make it to this level. But we stop when we get to this. Some people stop when they get to this level because we're like, "Oh, this is nice." But there's still another level. What if we're just in one of the chakras right here that we're looking around, and we got to get to the next one? But there's so many blocks or so much distractions, you know.
Yeah, distractions to keep you off track. They distract you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think you're onto something, bro. Yeah, I know you got to roll. You got like a
yeah,
minute.
yeah. But
I
yeah,
don't know. Yeah, you got me thinking about that one, man. I think that's something we got to revisit a little bit more about defining this reality that we're in and how it really works. But there's certainly another level to get to beyond the books, because it's not gonna. I don't think. I think they're gonna give us an element of it.
yeah. Maybe we just gotta focus because, like I'm telling you, when you get to 50, when you get to 50, and maybe it might be 55, maybe it might be 57, maybe it might be 60 for you. I don't know. But when I got to 50,
Oh boy.
I started thinking because most of my family members have died before 60,
Mm,
you know, and it's like, okay, uh, I maybe only have 10 years left, you know. So now, where should my mind go? Should I start trying to fight to get forward now? Because everlasting life may not mean this realm.
mm-mm.
Everlasting life might be something that we actually have right now, but we still have to get to the next realm in order for us to experience the next part of everlasting life. Maybe. And that's
Mm.
to lift our chakras up, lift our energy up, lift our vibration up so that we can phase through this realm, phase through this realm, have the proper thinking. Maybe the people that are unseen on this realm are the ones who say, okay, this one is ripe. You know what I mean? This one is good because they can't see well, like I'm speaking on their level. They can't see us, but we can see them, and we know this dude. All he does is crack. We don't want him on the next level. You know, we can see his energy because his energy is in our energy is be given off as spirit. Because you know this, you play sports when we're running around and we're sweating and it's cold outside. We got our steam coming off our body, and then all of a sudden you can't see it, but it's still there,
Mm-hmm.
right? When it's when we're sweating, that steam, like that energy, that aura, that whatever is still coming off our bodies, even when the sun is out, it's still coming off our bodies. We just can't see it. So our energy right now in the spirit realm, they can see it. If we're talking about the jinn, right? There's got to be an opposite to the jinn, right? Maybe, no, but even though the jinn has his choice of picking good and bad, what if there's an opposite? What if there's a another level on the fifth level that the jinn don't reach, but the fifth level there's another Kions instead of the jinn. You see what I mean?
No, yes, I do, and I think I think we I think we have to be careful of saying things like
Oh,
I think we have to be careful saying things like I need to get to a next level, or I need to go up, or I need to do this, because when you do that, it's so subtle that that is the unpardonable sin. Because when you say I need to be something else, you're not in your true being,
mm-mm.
and your true being is that which can't be changed. Your true being is that of the microcosm of the all. You already are that. And when you don't realize it, because that's the best way to dispower a God, is to have them think they're not a God. And that's what it's saying right here. It's us. And that's why they say to reach the highest consciousness is self-realization, is realizing that you already are that. And the important reason to realize you are that now is because in order to make it to quote unquote heaven, or the place where there's no more division, is a resonant frequency. That's why it says only the pure in heart shall see God or the all, is because your heart has to resonate at the proper frequency or you won't get in. And it's all about resonance and frequency. And when you constantly feel like I need to be somewhere else, guess where you're not in your being. If you feel like you need to go to a higher level, guess where you're not in your being. And it's so subtle that it goes right beyond our awareness that we just have to realize that we already are that. And when we pass away from here, that resonant frequency in which you vibrating at is what takes you there.
Okay, so there you go. That kind of, I'm sorry, I got to keep going just a little bit because you brought up another question. So what you just now said was it went to my perfection, right? We don't know what perfection is. So
just go ahead.
So if we are in our being and we know who we are, what it might look like on the outside, it looks like imperfection, but it's still perfect
because it's, I'm sorry to interrupt you, it's pitch perfect. It's the right frequency,
right?
You have the perfect match. That's it. And that's how you get in.
You have the perfect match, but even though at the same time there's calamity going on that I may have caused. But my pitch is perfect, but there's a bunch of goofy stuff going on around me that I'm doing that is happening. You know, I could be even super rich, you know, or however,
poor.
right? But my pitch is perfect.
And that's where that's where all the thoughts and karma and all that stuff, karma comes in, because everything works on frequency. And you know how they say, what you give out, you get back. That's a law. That's a law. So even if you come to this realization that I am in my true being, there's still no escaping the laws of what you give out, you're going to get back. So that's how you can sometimes see things that look off in your real reality, but you don't know the heart of a person. You don't know where their frequency is, and you don't know that they're resonating at the perfect frequency to make it in. That's why it says it's harder to get in heaven than it is to get a camel through the eye of a needle, because you have to hold that frequency until. And it's difficult to hold the frequency. If you think about it, you could be happy 1 second and then someone piss you off the next second, and then boom, you're out of frequency. That's why it's so challenging. It's challenging to hold that resonant frequency that I am in the midst of all these things going on. But that's really the task, recognizing the being and staying away from that unpardonable sin, which is not knowing who you really are.
There you go.
Yes, sir. I know we got to roll.
Yeah, we're gonna come back on that, because that's something to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Big Duck.
All
right, man. Hour and a half. That was quick.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. All right, man.
All right, bro. Have an awesome day. We'll see you next week.
All right. There it is.